Hello, this is Module 7, Chapter 5 for the video response. And so, cutting right to the chase, the question for this assignment is, in your own words, please describe the evolution of the trio sonata to the string quartet. So first, the trio sonata, it involves two violins plus basso continuo. And in the book, it shows that it could be with a bass or a cello, and it could even include the harpsichord. And eventually, it develops into there, where the basso continuo is removed the out of the music, out of the composition, and so that's when uh, the lower strings come into play more heavily, and as it progressed through time and through composition, they removed the keyboard, and the trio was two violins plus a cello, or you could replace the cello with a bass. And the trio became a quartet by adding the viola into this. And so you could have two violins, a viola, and then a cello or bass. And eventually we get to the string quartet, which I basically just described there: two violins, viola, plus a cello, or you can substitute cello for a bass. But the keyboard usually was not included in the string quartet. Other things that happened, though, that did involve keyboards, there were several trios uh, that were written for the harpsichord as the solo, and the violin and cello were the accompaniment. And you also have just the harpsichord with a violin accompaniment, and that is more of a sonata. And the other sonata that could happen is a harpsichord with the cello being the accompaniment. And it doesn't have to be a harpsichord, it can be a piano instead as the soloist, or you can also not have a soloist and you can do a duet with a piano with a violin. You could do it with piano and cello, and those were usually they would call those a violin sonata or a cello sonata. Or they also had piano trios, piano quartet, and piano quintet that involved more instruments: piano, violin, and cello for the trio, the violin, viola, and cello obbligato for the quartet, along with the piano. And then the piano quintet, it simply take a string quartet and add the piano. And the string quartet, as we stated, is two violins, viola, and the cello, or substitute the cello for a bass. So to recap all of this, it started off with just two violins plus basso continuo, which was usually played by a keyboard like the harpsichord. And eventually they took out the basso continuo, and they relied more on lower strings to help out. And so they added the cello, and eventually the viola made its way in and took the um, keyboard out and got the string quartet. So that is the evolution of the trio sonata to the string quartet. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.